In this video, we're going to be using a tribute soap by SoSharpLimited and the Geneva Cutlery straight razor with the SBT 2.0 edge. Stay tuned. Hey there folks, welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDB. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you joining me for this special edition tribute video, and we're going to be using a tribute soap, and this has been put out by SoSharpLimited, which is David Gonzalez, longtime advocate and friend, advocate for the hobby, I should say, and friend. And the scent on this is cherry and sandalwood, and it is a very nice combination of the two. To be honest, I didn't think I would like a scent like this, but I do. And one of the reasons I would call this a tribute soap, in sort of the truest sense of the word, is I bought this soap because of David. Like, it's got his face on it, as you see there, and that is what a tribute soap is. I bought this soap from him for him. So when you're paying someone money to use a soap with their face on it, that is the ultimate tribute soap. So make no mistake about it, this is a tribute soap. And David's been on some other labels before, at least one that I know of by IAMCDB. So, you know, he says there's no tribute soap, but this is kind of the second or third at this point, to be honest with you. Anyway, really nice scent. Scent strength is probably right at that entry level of medium. It is made by PAA. It is the CK6 formula. We'll put it for you right there, the ingredients, and it does smell nice. Again, cherry and sandalwood, very simple. It's a bright cherry, more like a fresh cherry or maybe a car freshener cherry, not like a marzipan sort of almond type situation there. Okay, so let's get into it today. Oh, I forgot, we're also going to be using the new SBT Sharp but Tuggy 2.0 edge, and as you recall before, and I'll link below a video where the dude of shaving, now keep in mind there's some adult language in this video. I'll link a video before where the dude of shaving tried David's edge some months ago, and he would say it's sharp but tuggy, and that's how we come up with sharp but tuggy. Anyway, a lot of time has passed since the last time I tried David's edge, so we look forward to this today. Again, this is all about really tributing David today, and we have a little under 24 hours growth, but you can see that salt there. I'm shaving a little bit early today because I have some things I have to do, and we're going to start off with a little PAA cube. And by the way, I also used the chill meal because I wanted to add some menthol in there because I thought menthol would be nice in this soap. And again, if PAA, and you know, I really enjoy PAA soaps, but if PAA had just put out cherry and sandalwood, I probably wouldn't have gotten it, to be honest. So, you know, when you buy something, especially for, just because it's got someone's face on it, that is a tribute. And I think he made, I think David had 25 of these made to start. However, he is, I believe he's told me, sort of open if there is interest to maybe making another run if PAA will, you know, allow it or is willing to do it. So if you're interested in this, and I know I've already been hit up several times, and I'm not the one to go through for this, hit up David, and perhaps if there's demand, he'll make another run for you folks, maybe, assuming PAA is willing to do it. And I gotta say, I appreciate artisans like PAA who are willing to sort of stick their necks out for us. In this community, it really is a collaborative effort. The viewers of the videos, the people who make videos, the people who post shave of the days, the artisans, we all sort of work together, you know, to support the hobby and keep it fresh and keep things, you know, just keep it going, keep it fresh at all times, and hopefully attracting new people. It really is a collaborative effort. So I appreciate when a company like PAA sticks their necks out and puts someone, you know, on a label, because it always creates jealousy and so on, because, you know, everyone who spends money on shaving products for a long period of time thinks, hey, maybe I should be on a label. And I get that, but the fact of the matter is not everybody can. You know, there's only so much the artisans can do. But when they do put themselves out there and open themselves up to that criticism, I appreciate it. Lots of them are reluctant to do so and just won't do so. So props to Douglas for being one of the ones who, you know, he appreciates the support of the shavers over the years, and occasionally he will sort of stick his neck out there a little bit, and he does get criticism for it. but he takes it, and I appreciate that. As you can see, no problems with the lather. I'm using today, by the way, the Saville. I believe this is 3328. Yes, this was gifted to me by Scott, the Peaceful Shaver. Thank you, Scott. Love this brush, love it. And again, the Badger lathers don't look exactly like my synthetics, because I think the Badger hair is actually a little more thick, so it sort of puts those lines in there, whereas the synthetic smooths out just a little bit because I think it's due to the fibers just being smaller, so they don't make those lines quite as much. But this is going to be plenty good enough, and I'm already feeling some menthol cooling, so that's awesome. And boy, we're looking forward to trying David's SBT Edge today, 2.0. Don't forget, Real Talk is tonight at 8:30 p.m. Nate and Melly Mel from BBS Live will be joining us, and we're just going to have a good time. So you have till about maybe 7. If you have any comments or questions you'd like us to ask, please submit them below. I always appreciate that. And again, that's part of that collaborative effort. So let's get on with the SBT 2.0 Edge. Feeling good so far. Not bad at all. It's sharp. For sure. A little bit tuggy right there. Right here. Ooh. Not sure about that. Sharp. But then it gets tuggy. Right about there. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe the beard is just a little thicker down there. We'll see when we get to the neck. So in spots, it feels sharp. Then it's a little, just ever so slightly tuggy. So David has carried on the tradition of sharp but tuggy. So that's, you know, it's sort of his trademark now, I think. No, I'm just kidding. I had to do that, you know, just to keep the old sharp but tuggy thing going. I'd say that blade is plenty sharp enough. No problems whatsoever. I'm thinking this Geneva Cutlery, because I had one that Magic Mike, and I believe Magic Mike sent David this razor, if I'm not mistaken, to test his edge. I had a lot of issues honing mine for some reason. A lot of people don't, but I had trouble honing mine. And so David has done a good job on this edge. It's definitely better than the edge he had before, but that edge wasn't bad, honestly. And this one isn't bad either. I'd say it's pretty good. It's definitely sharp enough. It's cutting well. And I'm really not having any issues with it. I think it's got a little bit of a, I'm not sure what I'm feeling. It's not tuggy necessarily, but there's just a slight bit of something I'm feeling there on the edge. And I did not strop this prior to use, so I'm not sure. It is cutting well, so I'm getting that sharpness. I don't know what he sharpened this on, whether this is JNAT or 20K edge. But for me, on this particular edge, what I'm feeling is it is definitely sharper than his last. I wouldn't call it, it's not laser sharp, but it's sharp and it feels good. But I'm wondering if this is David's absolute best work, if this is just where his edges are now, because he had mentioned that when he was honing this, he wasn't completely sure if it was where he wanted it. And so I'm feeling that it's a good edge. And certainly not uncomfortable, but I'm wondering if this is his best edge. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know. I don't know how much time he spent on this, but I would say overall good edge. Is it Mike Schultz level? No, it's not. But it is a very serviceable edge. And let me put it to you this way. If this were my edge, I would say, okay, I have some work yet to do. It's nice. I'm happy with it. You know what I mean? I'm happy with it, but it's not entirely refined to the degree that I want it. Maybe smoothness is what I'm looking for here, just a little bit. But it is sharp. He's got the sharpness in there. And so maybe he went for sharpness, whereas he tends to prefer smoothness. I'm not sure. But I would say definitely good edge. I know David certainly has learned how to hone pretty well at this point. But if I produced this edge myself, I would say I'm happy with it. It's cutting well, but I need to sort of perhaps take some of the edginess off it, if that makes any sense. So I know now this video is sounding like Junior's video, which is funny. We're supposed to be tributing David. Anyway, the soap is doing well. It smells great. For me, I get the cherry up front, and then there's a little bit of that sandalwood sort of towards the back, which is good for me. And the sandalwood on this one, the sandalwood that I get is more like, it's not super dark, but it's not super cologne-y either. It's not like, say, your Art of Shaving sandalwood or Tobbs. It's more of the, say, Perezza red style. But don't think that you're going to get sandalwood without that sweetness of the cherry, because what you're going to get first is the cherry. And it is a nice scent, honestly. But had this not had David's face on it, I probably wouldn't have gotten it. That's the reason I bought it, is to tribute, David. So let's see what we think about this edge. Man, I got to tell you, the weather has been crazy. Today is Thursday, but I shoot these one day ahead. And on Wednesday, which was yesterday, it snowed for a good portion of the day. It didn't mount to anything because it's been warm here. The day before, it was about 77 degrees. And probably, if you were in the sunshine, it would probably feel like it was 80. That's, I think, about 25, maybe 77 is about 25 Celsius, I think. And this morning, it is 28 Fahrenheit or minus 2.2 Celsius. But literally Wednesday, I was outside in the yard just enjoying myself, having a good time. And then yesterday it snowed the bulk of the day. Just flurries, nothing that hung around. But it's very interesting this time of year, because here we usually aren't getting snow in almost May. And like I said, this morning it's 28 degrees. So I think I clipped that bump there a little bit, but that's okay. Again, the edge on this is definitely, it's cutting well, it's serviceable. But I'm thinking maybe, I don't know if this is David's normal edge. If this were my edge, I would work on it a little bit more. But every time on the other hand, let's put it this way. Every time I produce an edge, I feel like I need to work on it more. So I'm not happy usually. I mean, I am happy with my edges, but I always feel like I could do more. So I'm holding David's edge here to the same standard that I hold my own. That is to say, I'm pretty sure he would probably want more out of it. See if I'm getting that. Trying to get those stubborn hairs. Sometimes I have some really stubborn hairs on my neck there, and they're very close in. They're not grown out very long. They're hard to get. Being a every 24-hour shaver, sometimes those hairs aren't very long, and they're harder to cut, much harder. And it makes it kind of difficult. But I would say, again, I would call this a serviceable edge. Little bit of resistance there. I am having to move the blade a little bit. Trying to think of a way to describe this. This is going to end up being the Sharp but Tuggy 2.0 video, and really didn't plan to do that on purpose. But it's the way it's coming out. I'm going to send this back to David and say, David, rehone this for me. And put the edge you would like on it. Because I think he might have maybe tried to do an edge that I would like. I'm not sure. But it's definitely cutting. But at the same time, see right there, I'm feeling it cutting pretty well on the hair up there. Not bad at all. Okay. I'm just, this one is a bit of a struggle because I'm finding things I like about this edge and I don't like at the same time, if that makes sense. And the only way you can do this is be honest. And so I'm not sure if this is David's best work, and this should be his best work on his tribute day. But let's continue on. I will say, I appreciate David. We're good friends. We've known each other for years. And he is a genuinely nice guy who really does have a lot of passion for this hobby. Now, I know some people, he gets a lot of flack at times for speaking his mind as he sees fits, and he's not always diplomatic about it. And sometimes people take things he says out of context. And that's frustrating as well. But, he's one of those guys that he's just like, hey, I'm just going to say it like it is. And I respect that. I really do. He calls it like he sees it. He's not really timid about mentioning when he's unhappy with things, or he doesn't think someone's, doing things on the up and up or in a manner that he approves. And he makes no bones about it. And I think you have to respect folks like that. He doesn't trip over himself to be diplomatic, and he's not always angling not to upset or offend people. He just sort of lays it out there, and that's a double-edged sword. Some people, like me, I really respect that in people, as long as they're not trying to hurt others in doing so. But other people are taken aback by that, or they don't care for it, and so it's always a double-edged sword. But I appreciate that. It's one of the qualities in him that I appreciate it. He calls it like he sees it. And I know that today, on this edge, he would appreciate me calling it like I see it. And I'm thinking on this edge, on the downward pass, I thought it was good. I thought it felt pretty good. On these upward passes, it's not feeling, I don't know if this is best work. And I'm not being flip about that, but it's sort of turning into a sharp but tuggy 2.0 situation. It was not intended to be. I did that initial part as a joke, but in filling the edge, I'm gonna have to look at this under the loop and see if I can see some maybe roughness in the edge, or maybe a foil edge. I'm not sure, but that side of the neck, it was not cutting quite as well as I would like. So I think I would probably send this one back. Now, that said, I had a lot of trouble honing the Geneva Cutlery that Magic Mike sent me. He had a beautiful edge on it, and then I re-honed it, and it wasn't good at all. So I don't know. But I would say on these passes now, where most of the hair is removed, obviously it's feeling a lot better because there's not much to cut. I can still hear it cutting some. But honestly, this one, I said initially I thought it was better than the cuticle. But after going down on that side of the neck, I'm almost inclined to say I think I might have preferred his cuticle edge. So, I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll look at this one under the loop and see if there's something going on that I'm feeling that. But I did not strop it too, so maybe it needed stropped. I never strop a blade that it's been honed by someone else unless they tell me to. I'm trying to get that. See that? There's a little, just trying to get that. It's kind of hard to, that's a very difficult area to get no matter what. So I think I've got it now though. Certainly not feeling rough now, but I know this video is probably going to go a little bit longer than usual. I've made a couple of long videos this week for me, being over 20 minutes. But, what the heck? It's a tribute. It probably hasn't seemed like much of a tribute. This video is going to end up being very reminiscent of Junior's Sharp but Tuggy video. And it was not intended to be. But I will say, I'm very happy for David to finally get this tribute. So, even though he had it made himself, all of us buying it, we're basically giving tribute. Isn't that the way it was done back in the old Roman days or something, where you gave tribute? And that's exactly what this is. We're paying tribute. We paid him for the honor of using the soap with his face on it. And to me, that's the ultimate tribute. So this is a tribute soap in every way, in my opinion. And at least when I'm using it, it is meant as a tribute to David. But I am going to say, the edge, I'm going to ask David to rehone this one. And I'll look at it under the loop and see if there's something going on with it, because it felt pretty good on the downward pass. On the upward pass, especially on that part of the neck, it just didn't feel like it was cutting as well as I would like, and I'm not sure what that is. So we do have a sharp but tuggy 2.0 situation here, sort of like Junior, where he was saying sharp, but then it felt a little tuggy. I felt something similar over there. I did not expect to, honestly. I thought this was just going to be flippant on that downward pass when I was joking. I thought I was just going to have fun with it, but as it turns out, this one, I thought it was good at first. Ultimately, it didn't feel as good as I would like. So I'm just being honest. I know David would expect that kind of honesty from me. I'm not just going to say, oh, it's the greatest edge ever because David did it. I think David can produce a very fine edge. I think he will. I'm gonna try it again. That's the only thing I can do. Okay, let me rinse, then we'll come back and get into post. Stay tuned. And all right, we are back in off cam. We did a warm water rinse, and then we followed with the PAA Allen block. No stinging, so that wasn't a rough edge, I would say. Then we rinsed off the Allen block with cool water, and then toweled off with our Lancaster towels right there, which are awesome. And then we used the Magic Made by Witches Thayer's Witch Hazel. The soap, a tribute soap. It is a tribute soap. We paid for this soap to honor David, and we wish all the best for David Rocio and his family. We love David. Thank you so much, David. I'm honored to use this soap, and it is a tribute to you. On the edge, being completely honest here, on the downstroke, it felt okay. It felt serviceable. I actually said it was good. But then on the upstroke, I don't know what was going on there. So what I'm going to do, David, I'm going to send this razor back to you. Just use it, strop it, use it, and see how you feel about the edge. I'd love for you to do that on video to see maybe we just have different preference, or maybe my beard type is a little bit different. On that upward pass, it just, if it were my edge, I would want to take it a little further. Let's just put it that way. So we do have a sort of sharp but tuggy 2.0 situation. I'm not being flip about that. I would have never dreamed I'd be in this position. And Junior, I'm sorry, I know how it feels now. Anyway, let's finish it up today with the tribute splash. And we're going to be off to the races and having a great day. And again, if you're interested in this, hit up David, not me. Hit up David and see if he would be willing to make another run. Now, one of the things about this is, well, it's coming out a little better now. PAA put a new restrictor on their bottles, and yesterday I was shaking it and it was barely coming out. So they went from being maybe under restricted to over restricted thanks to DK. I will say this splash, I think the sandalwood comes out more. You get the sweetness of the cherry, but I get more sandalwood, and it's nice. I'm honored to use this, really, and I hope David will watch people using this and just have a great feeling of, I've made it, because you have, David. You have made it. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Sorry for the long video, but this was a tough one because of the edge, if I'm being honest. Another SBT situation, sharp but tuggy. But we're gonna revisit this edge when David rehones it, or we'll see what he thinks about it. Maybe it's just my preference is different. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Until next time, I've been your host, CDB, reminding you, it's your shave, do it your way, and as always, God bless.